Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is like my first official video. This channel is where we talk about everything music related. So I'm going to have interviews with my friends talking about music, musical instruments, musical journeys. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and let's do it. All right, welcome everyone to my YouTube channel. I made this kind of intro video a couple months ago. Told you guys that I was going to record some videos, and this is the first one. It took me a little bit longer to record than I would have liked, but we're here. So thanks so much for watching, tuning in. This is such a new experience for me, so I'm really excited for you guys to dive into this channel with me. So usually how this is going to work is I'm going to interview friends of mine, colleagues of mine, talking about music, their love of musical instruments, bands, artists that they enjoy. But today I thought I would cue you guys in to my own musical journey. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about how I came to love music, some influential bands of mine as well. So I started taking piano at a really young age, and I remember the first piece of music that I fell in love with when I was learning piano was George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. If you don't know that song, listen to it now, because it's like this incredible piano music interlude with this awesome clarinet solo. And I remember going to my piano teacher and saying, I want to learn George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and she's like, okay, but we are not that good at scales yet, so let's maybe just take a second. And so that was the first piece of music that I was like, I love how this sounds, I love how this makes me feel. So that was like the intro into it. But then going throughout middle school, I picked up alto saxophone, which I still play today, and I began to learn jazz. And I loved jazz because in classical piano there are all these specific finger shapes that you had to do, but jazz was kind of like choose your own adventure, and I found myself really excelling in that kind of musical environment. And so I love jazz still to this day. Then going to high school, I started singing more. I picked up acoustic guitar. I remember the first tab I learned on acoustic guitar was the song Beautiful Things by Gungor, and it was in drop D tuning, and I was obsessed with it, and it was so fun. And then when I was in college, I always wanted to play drums, but my parents wouldn't let me have a drum set because it's obnoxiously loud, which honestly, that's fine. But I started playing drums in college, and I was able to play in this Christian band at this summer camp for a couple summers. And so it was this amazing opportunity. Also, if you guys hear that, that's just a heater. Let's just ignore it. But I was playing in the summer camp, and it was really exciting, and I got to play drums every day, and I was obsessed with it. And so now as I work full-time in church music ministry, I'm able to play a bunch of music, bunch of types of music all the time, and I love it, and I'm still learning. And sometimes I feel like I should pick one instrument, and just stick with it, but whatever. I play a little bit of everything. So I just wanted to share a little bit about kind of my musical journey in terms of bands that I like. So at a young age, man, this is some throwback bands. At a young age, the first band that I remember listening to, I grew up in a Christian household, so it was a lot of these 2000s bands that I was growing up in. So the first one that I have is this band called Avalon. And this band Avalon was 4 or 5 singer group, kind of a cappella, but they played to kind of these cheesy 80s and 90s backing tracks. But I remember going to churches in Milwaukee and seeing them live, and they have this great song called Testify to Love. Check them out. Second band that I remember as a young age really being inspired by was Newsboys, kind of that rock Christian music, and they are Australian too, and all of them have long hair, and I thought that was really cool. And then DC Talk, I remember my dad had a bunch of DC Talk CDs, and they were kind of like rock, but also did sort of hip hop and rap as well. But they were like kind of edgy, this edgy band that like all the cool kids listened to. And then I listened out of DC Talk. I listened to a lot of Toby Mac. I would go to his concerts all the time with my friends after school. Like I knew all of his songs. And I remember my parents bought me this CD that was Alive and Transported. It was like a live concert of his, and it came with a DVD as well. And I remember like sitting in my basement and like just learning everything that there was to learn about this album. And so that was really inspiring to me. But then moving into kind of like middle school and high school, like I was still obsessed with Toby Mac for sure. But then I kind of crossed into the world of like other types of music. So I remember like listening to a lot of Michael Jackson, some Jackson 5, but like a lot of his solo stuff. And then Luther Vandross as well. I got into like soul music and R&B. And I didn't know that there could be such soulful music that was put to words. And I remember being so inspired by people like Luther Vandross or Bill Withers as well, and many others, and listened to a lot of those things. Then I listened to also kind of on the other side this band called Flight of the Conchords, which is like kind of a rap duo, and they would make super weird songs, but I was obsessed with them. And then in college, I played in like symphonic band and jazz band, and two of my other friends who also played saxophone. I remember we were waiting outside, waiting for band to start, and I remember we were watching this YouTube video by this group called Snarky Puppy, and it's this song called Lingus, and it has this insane key solo in the middle of it by, I think, arguably one of the best keys players ever. His name is Corey Henry. And that was my intro into kind of more modern jazz, funk music. So I started listening to Snarky Puppy a lot. I started listening to Vulfpeck. If you know me at all, you've probably heard me talk about Vulfpeck at least 500 times. And then another group out of that called Scary Pockets, and they do a lot of funk covers of pop songs. And so now my music kind of library, if you look on like Apple Music or my phone or whatever, like it's anything from like jazz and gospel to musical theater, to hymns, to instrumental tracks. But that's kind of how I like it. That's kind of how my personality is as well. And it's across the spectrum, and you can learn so many beautiful things about music in different styles. So I'm really excited for you guys to jump into this channel with me. I'm going to have a bunch of my friends on here, interview with them about their favorite types of music, musical instruments that they like to play, different tips and tricks and stuff like that. So anything music, it's going to be on this channel. So would love for you guys to like and subscribe, because you'll be notified when I release a new video in this concept. So appreciate you guys for watching, and have a good day. Bye.